Around the Ozarks is now on your FM radio. Listen to Around the Ozarks mornings with Grace Gooley as I spotlight local people, stories, and podcasts, all while playing the country legends of the 90s and the hit makers of the 2000s. It's on the Ozarks Best Country, 105.1 The Bull.
Hi, this is Joy Robertson. As many of you know, I love food. I love finding new restaurants. I love trying new dishes. And most of all, I love talking to the many great restaurateurs and entrepreneurs we have here in the Ozarks and beyond. I love hearing their stories, and that's what this podcast is all about, learning more about them and their journey. So join me as we savor the Ozarks. This episode is brought to you by Jim's Steakhouse and Pub and Springfield's locally owned Fazoli's. If you're driving along historic C Street in Springfield, which is one of my favorite streets in town, and you look for the bright blue entrance, you're going to see Blue Heron Euro Cafe and Bakery. It's a beautiful spot, and I've been looking forward to talking to this lady for a long time. Jennie Boosey is the owner, and this is also Blue Heron Farm and Bakery. So I need to hear the backstory of, I don't even know where the farm is. Like, I've never been to the farm. How did this whole thing get started, Jennie?
So we started as a farm in Marshfield. We did eggs and produce, microgreens, mushrooms, the whole lot, and we sold to local restaurants and retail outlets, and then we also sold at the Farmers Market of the Ozarks. We did that for about 7 years. Somewhere in there, I started adding baked goods into our offerings there at the market, and they became very popular, and I just started making more and more. I started off with sourdough bread and flour tortillas, and then I moved on to hot dog buns, hamburger buns, different kinds of loaves, and then I got into pastries, so all the sweet-filled croissants and galettes and things like that, which I know that you love the lemon galette.
Girl, I was about to say, you know what lured me into that. I was at the farmer's market, and I went straight for the lemon galette,
Yes.
and I think I bought your last two. I mean, don't mess with that, ever.
Yeah, so yes, a wide variety of breads and pastries. I did that for, we kind of evolved much of the farm into just doing baked goods. We still had eggs and stuff for a while. And then in 2022, we expanded and started offering coffee and espresso, expanded on the pastry line, basically set up a little cafe at the Farmers Market of the Ozarks, and that quickly evolved into our storefront here on Commercial Street that we have here today. So we opened here on Commercial Street in November of 2022.
When did the farm evolve? How long have you done the farm?
So we started the farm in 2014. And we still have the farm. We still have cows and ducks and geese. And we've kind of stepped back on it just a little bit while we got this storefront going. But we still, my husband James, who runs this the shop with me, he still grows all kinds of produce and herbs and eggs and things like that that we then use in the shop. And then we also grow it for our own family.
Okay, so you've had that farm up and running for well over 10 years. Mm-hmm. And when you were operating this farm near Marshfield, Missouri, was the end game in your head kind of like, hey, I think I'll open my own place?
So James, he from when he was a young person, when he first got started working, he worked in the restaurant industry. So all the way until we moved here, I should say he's an English guy. So he did management. I mean, he did everything from top to bottom. But when we moved here, we were living in England. We moved here from England.
Oh, I didn't know you spent time there.
Yes,
oh,
yes,
wow.
yes.
Okay.
And he was operations manager for the Boston Tea Party, and so they're like a kind of casual coffee, espresso, pastries. They've got a really cool casual menu, and we based a lot of our thinking kind of off of their service style and stuff like that when we opened this place. So we moved here specifically because we had a young family and we wanted to start a farm and grow all our own food and things like that, which we do. And then just over the years, it kind of just evolved, and we have lots of influences from here and in Europe, and just both of our backgrounds kind of led us to this, I'll say.
Speaking of influences, your voice, your accent, there's no influence to me at all of a British accent. How did you two meet each other?
I am not English. So I'm a Midwest girl. I was born in Omaha, Nebraska, and I grew up in Texas outside of Houston. I've lived kind of all around. James and I actually met we were both up at a ski hill up in Northwest Washington. So I was living up there. He was visiting, and we met that way. So, and then just sort of, got together after that.
Wow, on a ski hill. So you were skiing, and I don't know. Maybe you were just scoping out the guys on the ski hill. I don't know.
Not literally. I was running a ceramic studio then, but I was living in the area. So some of my friends met him, and then we kind of met through friends. So not literally on the ski hill, but so.
Okay, close enough. But you meet this handsome British fellow, and you wind up moving over there. Is that anything that you like? That had to be so exciting.
Yes, I think it was sort of. We just fell in love, and we got married and moved over there. A lot of it had to do with getting visas. It was a lot easier to get a visa to live in England than it was here. So moved over there and sort of worked all that out, and we lived and worked while we were over there. Had our first kid, actually, and then we moved back here, and then we moved back to England a couple years later. So, and then ended up here in 2014. So,
what part of England?
So the southwest. So we lived in Bath, which is a historical site. It's a beautiful city. And then we lived in a small town called Stroud. That's where James's parents were living. And then we also, when we moved back the second time, we lived in Bristol, which was, it's my favorite city ever. I love Bristol so much. So.
Very cool. I did not know that about you. See, that's the thing I love about Savor the Ozarks. We get to learn things we didn't know.
Yeah, that's where a lot of the influences for this place came from. For me personally, in my baking and pastry making, and it's very much evolved from there. Very good food influences. We don't have butcher shops. We don't have bakeries here, not in the same sense as in England. It's more of a daily lifestyle culture. It's more a part of the culture there. Green grocers, where you go get your bread, you go get your produce, you go get your meat. They have places like Walmart and stuff too, but there's still the high streets with all the nice little shops, and the farmers markets are amazing. So many wonderful things that people make over there that, the farmers markets here are great, but it's just a different sort of influence over there, so.
It is nice when you find that sort of setup where, like, even in parts of New York City, there are places where you can go to the butcher and to the baker and to the cheese store. And, here a lot of times it's a supermarket and everything's in one place, which is, convenient, but it's not always as good as it is over there, know. But you brought that influence here, which now that answers a lot of questions for me. Okay. Who taught you how to cook? When did you get the bug to bake?
I would say I baked growing up. My mom she baked a lot. I didn't really know anybody that did it professionally, so it kind of took, at first I started off just baking at home, mostly when I had, it wasn't until my 20s that I started baking more regularly, and then when we had a family, I think something about having kids and you think more about the food that you're putting in your body. And so I got really into food and nutrition and then from that baking. So baking things from scratch, real foods. I try not to eat anything with additives and things like that. And that has very much influenced what we do here. So we bake all our doughs and everything from scratch, all the fillings. Yes, so that's it.
That's it. Well, and I will tell you that's it, because when you get a loaf of bread that you might buy here, as opposed to going to the store, I say the store, everybody just says the store, it's whatever store is handy, and you get sort of this mass-produced bread, nothing wrong with it, it's just that it will sit in your kitchen for weeks, and it's fine until it's not fine.
Definitely.
But there's preservatives and who knows what happening there, and when you have a loaf of bread that's fresh sitting next to a loaf of bread that's sort of one of the big names, there's an obvious difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we do, at our shop now, we do primarily pastries, so sweet and savory pastries. And then we do filter coffee and cold brew lattes, chai and stuff like that. So breakfast and lunch kind of stuff. Yes, and everything is from scratch. And we try to buy local whenever we can, just the highest quality ingredients that we can find. And a lot of times that's what we can find locally, so.
It's a lot of work to bake, and there's a science to it, and you live roughly 30 minutes away from Commercial Street, which is on the north side of Springfield. How early do you get here in the mornings? How early does your crew have to show up? Bakeries just have to be here crazy early.
Yeah, we usually have somebody here by about 5:15, 5:30, and we open at 8. So the reason why we don't have to get here at, say, 1 in the morning is because most of our doughs and pastries are made ahead of time. So we just store them in our walk-in cooler, and then the person that comes in and opens, whether it's me or one of my staff members, they just come in and they'll take the carts of trays of pastries out, and then they go straight into the proofer, which is what warms them up and gets them ready to bake. So it's a pretty straightforward process. Most of the production happens the day before or even a few days before. And we kind of always have pastries in process at different stages. So.
Gotcha. Why did you select Commercial Street? I'm just a huge fan of C Street. How'd you find this space?
Well, a couple things. So I love Commercial Street. It's probably the closest reminder of like what they call a high street in England, where you've got all your shops and up and down the street and people walk and they shop and all of that. Commercial Street, I think, it has lots of unique shops, locally owned shops, and we just felt like it was a good place to set up shop. The other thing is that this was a bakery previously. So Craig, who owned Artisan Oven, he was here, I think, for 12 years, and he was kind of looking to close up shop, and we were doing our thing at the farmers market with basically our little bakery cafe at farmers market, and he approached us and asked us if we might be interested in taking over his space, which a space like what we have, a bakery kitchen like what we have, is it's very few and far between in Springfield. So it was kind of a lucky break, really. And so we just basically took over the lease here and moved into this space in August of 2022. So.
Okay, it worked out with all of everything you need back in the kitchen.
Kind of came together, and we had kind of already been looking for a storefront space at that time, and so it just all worked out just great.
Well, and I love the setup here. You have these long wooden tables with these sort of stools, and then you have a couple of sort of regular height tables for two, and then sort of a counter space where people can, and it's sort of, I don't know if communal is the word, but I guess people can kind of sit and visit and get to know each other in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I would say I've said this probably 3 times now, but it's very European inspired. Yeah. A lot of times when you go to a cafe, you'll get a croissant and a coffee, and you'll just kind of perch somewhere and eat your breakfast, and then kind of go on with your day. And that was kind of the inspiration here. We have a friend, Dalton Peterson. He's an arborist here in town, and he harvested some trees, and that's where the benches actually came from. So he milled the wood, and then my husband turned them into these like benches and tables and things. It's pretty eclectic, and but I think it's fun, and it kind of gives people a different experience when they come and eat. So.
Oh, I just really love that. So he does woodwork. You do, I think you said ceramics, and and you do all this baking. Good golly, what do you not do?
I don't really. Ceramics was kind of my. I would say my first career. I went to school for ceramics, and I did that for about 12 years, and then sort of got away from it when we had a family. And then right around that time, I became very passionate about cooking and food and all of that, and sort of started moving in the direction that we're here now.
You said ceramics. I thought you were going to say ceramics was my hobby.
So
serious.
I did it as a profession for about 10 years. Yes, went to school for it, did it as a profession. And then I was a studio artist. I taught classes at a center in Omaha, Nebraska for a while. And then kind of towards the end of that, right about the time that I met James, I was running a pottery studio in Bellingham, Washington. So, and then I would say that I kind of transferred that creativity, and I just put it into food. Once I got into food, it's actually very similar. There's a lot of science behind it, and you use your hands. And I kind of think of it as now, instead of making the vessels for food, I now make the food that goes into vessels. So that's how I think about it. I just transferred a lot of those creative skills, and now this is my creative outlet. So.
That is the coolest story. Where did you go to school to learn ceramics?
I started off at the University of North Texas in Denton, Texas, and then I did this sort of in-state exchange program at Utah State University in Logan, Utah, and I ended up finishing out I graduated from there. So I ended up just moving to Utah because I loved it so much.
Did you do any formal culinary training at all?
I have not done any formal culinary training.
Whatever that is, you know.
I didn't go to a university or a institute or anything like that. I've just done a lot of practice. I just love food, and I cook all the time. Even when I'm not cooking here, or even on our days when we're closed here, I go home and I cook. I try new recipes all the time. I love it so much, and it's just practice. You just have to do it over and over and over again. I think even people that go to school for it, they still have to have that experience where they learn the trade and learn the business. The food industry is a crazy place to be, so you can only learn that just by doing it. So.
My goodness, a woman of many talents. When you come in here, there are beautiful pastries. There are some hot, or at least warm, savory pastries, and then I guess it just is kind of chef's choice what flavors you have in the pastry. What is a typical day, and what are some of your favorites that are the crowd favorites?
So we have a casual sort of counter service style, and the idea is that everything is ready to go and visual in the pastry cases. So the sweet pastries and the savory pastries. We have a lot of pastries that we do all the time. So for savory, we have our croissant breakfast sandwiches, which they're wonderful. We do all the omelets and everything from scratch using local eggs and milk. And We also do like a ham and cheese croissant. So that's like ham and cheese rolled into a croissant and baked. We've got these savory pastry rolls, spinach, feta, and mushroom. And then we do sausage rolls, which are like an English classic. It's a sausage meat. We mix it in-house and then roll it in like a laminated puff pastry. And then it's served with little Cornichon pickles and whole grain mustard. So
you're speaking my language there, yeah.
Probably most popular savory items. Can be eaten for breakfast or lunch. And then sweet stuff, we do almond croissants and chocolate croissants, pain au chocolat. And we do our galettes, so we do all different kinds of flavors. So the lemon one that we mentioned earlier, and all kinds of cream galettes. We've got a French silk one right now. They're basically little rustic pies made with puff pastry. Our cinnamon buns are fantastic. And then we do filled brioche donuts, which are probably our best seller, I would say. I think they've sort of moved up to the best seller.
They've taken on a life of their own, I think, because you've got sweet ones and savory too.
Yes, we have done. We're not doing a savory one right now, but we have done savory ones in the past, and we switch out the flavors weekly or bi-weekly. It's a lovely brioche, soft brioche donut, and then we fill them with all different flavors. So we do like a fresh lemon curd, like the lemon galette. We're doing a key lime pie one right now, strawberry cheesecake, chocolate mousse, just all like a whole range of flavors for those. So yes, and they're very popular.
I can see why, and they're delicious. And I haven't had any of the key lime yet, and I'm itching to have the key lime. I didn't know that you would have that in the winter. Like, I didn't know for sure, because you just don't, it's not top of mind for me. Well, now I take that back. Key lime's always top of mind for me. But you think about, they'll roll that out in the spring maybe, but you do it whenever you feel like doing it.
Well, I think key lime is a seasonal flavor for some people, but also not here, but citrus is in season right now. So you can get lots of different kinds of citrus these days, like blood oranges and Meyer lemons and things like that. So those are kind of fun to play around with this time of year. And also citrus is sunny, and everybody needs a little, their day to be brightened a little bit with some citrus fillings. We do have some seasonal flavors, and then we also run specials. We do beignets one weekend a month, which are the Louisiana. They're like lovely, puffy, fried pillows of dough. They're coated in powdered sugar, and then we serve them with our raspberry jam on the side. That's a really popular special. We do like apple cider donuts in the fall, and we did pecan sticky buns over Christmas. So we have some rotating specials that we do as well. So.
Okay, so keep an eye on your social media, your Instagram, your Facebook page, because you do a really good job of putting up beautiful pictures, which really lures people in.
Some people check the weather. Others check our soup of the day. Hi, this is Jim with Jim's Steakhouse and Pub. Our soup of the day changes, but the comfort never does. Just check with your server, because nothing takes the edge off a cold day like whatever's simmering at Jim's.
When you walk through those legendary doors, you're gonna find there's so much to love. So do yourself a favor, dig that service and flavor. Jim's Steakhouse and Pub.
When is the perfect occasion to use Fazoli's catering? Studies have shown everyone loves Fazoli's signature pasta dishes, pizza, salads, and those famous breadsticks, which means Fazoli's is the perfect choice for any occasion. Nothing completes the winter season like a pasta party catered by Fazoli's. Every day is a good day for Italian, which means it's always the right time for Fazoli's. Your next catered event is just a click away at Fazoli's.com.
Fazoli's.
You mentioned the sausage rolls. That's locally made sausage? And there's an ingredient in it that struck me. Is it like a cinnamon or something that's in there, or did I read that?
So we spice our sausage. It's kind of a English recipe. We put sage and nutmeg in it.
Nutmeg. I knew it was something. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's a very classic flavor for sausage over there. So it's really tasty. So.
And the little cornichons, aren't those just they're just such a bright little addition to anything, don't you think?
Yes, I agree. Yes, and we make these little pickle skewers, so they kind of just like poke into the sandwich or the rolls or whatever. So yeah.
And did I see that the rolls is like a serving of like 4 of them or something? Is that correct?
Yes. So so we cut this. In England, you'll often buy a sausage roll, and it'll be like a larger roll. But we found that they sell a little better if we cut them into fourths, and then they're shareable and just generally easier to eat. So,
what is your favorite pastry? Last time I was here, I don't know if it was the last time I was here, but I got my lemon, and I got one of the chocolate croissants.
Yes.
And my goodness, those are ridiculous good. What's your, do you have a favorite?
I think my go-to, I actually don't eat a lot of sweet things. We make a lot of sweet things here, but I don't really go for that too often. But when I do, I love our almond croissant. So it's our croissant dough, and we fill it with an almond cream called frangipan, and then it's rolled and baked in there, and then it before we put it in the oven, it's topped with sliced almonds, so they toast up really nice in the oven, and then they have powdered sugar sprinkled on top. They're just like a really, really nice treat when I want one. So.
Oh, I love almonds. I love the flavor of it. It's so delicate, Yes. But I'm not the biggest sweet eater in the world, but I love a good pastry, and I love a good solid cup of black coffee. Now, I love a fancy coffee drink, but when my feet hit the floor in the morning, I want a cup of black coffee, and I'd like that to offset the sweet pastries.
Yes. So we really try to balance out our flavors. So first of all, we use really high quality ingredients, and we don't skimp on butter, eggs, anything. There's no fillers, and we don't try to make up for the low quality ingredients with just adding more sugar, which is what a lot of bakeries do, and a lot of commercial food that you buy like at Walmart or whatever. That's what they do. So a lot of stuff you get when you're out and about is just so sweet and kind of like sickly sweet. We try not to go there. So we try to keep that balance so you can taste all the flavors and the richness of all the other ingredients that are in it.
Do you just sell it until you sell out?
Yes, more or less, yes. We just kind of try to, so on the weekends we have builds or pars for the day, and we'll make a certain amount for that day because we bake everything fresh in the morning, and when we run out. Usually we get pretty much to the end of the day on most things, or we'll still have a few things left, but if you want the full selection, you got to get here first thing for the full experience. So.
If I get up there and there's no lemon, I can always ask, does there happen to be a lemon back there somewhere, right?
You can ask, but it might not be there.
And we get here early.
And it's hard. You can't just, a lot of people, it's hard for them to understand that we don't just have stuff available when the case is empty. It's pretty much, we don't have anything else. And it takes time to make and bake everything, so we can't just, whip it up, which we like to see as a good thing. So people come in, what you see there, it was baked that day. We're not just pulling stuff out of the back room somewhere.
Well, here's a little bit of breaking news from Blue Heron. You're about to up your lunch menu. You're about to ramp it up. So tell me about that.
Yes. So for a long time, we've basically been sort of a casual kind of. Everything's ready to go. You just come in and you can take it to go or eat it here. We are going to start doing lunch. So we're still going to have our bakery menu, so same setup for the first part of the day, and then at 10 o'clock we're going to open up the kitchen and do basically make-to-order food. We're going to start offering some really nice hot sandwiches, all European-inspired choices, and salads and soup. And we're going to do like some little charcuterie boards, shareable items, things like that. So we'll have like a much better offering. We're also probably going to start offering beer and wine, which is a sort of an addition to our usual drink offerings.
Okay, well, very British again,
Yes,
to have a nice pint or whatever with your lunch. And did I hear you say before we started rolling on this podcast, did I hear you say you're doing your own chips?
Oh, yes. So we've been experimenting with making our own chips, and we have a farming background, obviously. So we've been thinking about making chips out of different kinds of root vegetables, which a lot of people have seen. Those are a thing, So we're going to do some sweet potato and beet chips, our plan, and that'll come as a side with the sandwiches and the salads and things like that. So they should be really tasty.
I'm so excited to hear that because I'm one of these people that if I go in and I see a menu and it says house-made chips, that'll sell it for me. A lot of times it really will. I love and appreciate a good house-made chips, but yes, the root vegetable chips are delicious and they're just special.
Yeah, they're just kind of different, and I think they have a flavor to them that's going to go really well with our sandwiches. So.
Oh my goodness! All right, so are you? Let's see. I'm preoccupied now because I'm thinking about. I love a soup and sandwich.
Yes.
What soups are you thinking? Like, if you were opening tomorrow, what would you throw together for a good soup?
I think that we're probably going to start off with a French onion soup, the classic, and then probably like a creamy mushroom sage, and maybe a tomato soup. Just kind of keep it pretty straightforward and simple, but always delicious. So
those were the three I was hoping you'd say. I love me a good tomato soup. I love any soup, I really do. But soup and a sandwich, and house-made chips,
grilled cheese to dip in that tomato soup. Yep, it's gonna be good.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait for you to open that. Speaking of your bakery, you do classes. Yes. You do lots of classes, Jennie, lots of classes. And I have some friends, my friends Brenda and Chanda and some of my other girlfriends and guy friends have been here for your classes. Did you anticipate they would be as popular as they are? Because they sell out pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. I never anticipated it. It was kind of a organic thing. So we opened in fall of 2022, and I had been at market doing my sourdough bread and whatnot. Just started focusing on pastries when we opened, so we weren't offering the bread anymore. We had a group of gals that they actually wanted the bread, but when I said I couldn't get them to do the bread for them, they asked if I would teach them how to make sourdough bread. And so that's kind of where it started. So I did a class for them, and then that went really well. And then I started scheduling classes, and they would just sell out basically immediately. And so I just started adding more and more of those. I did bread for a while, or I have a sourdough class, and we've added a cinnamon bun class, croissants. You can basically learn how to make anything that we offer here, and also things that I offered over the years at the farmers market when I was doing just the baked goods there. We've got a pasta class. We do classes for special occasions, so we're doing a class on the 13th and 14th of February for Valentine's, so like a couples class. Yeah. We've got like a special pastry that we're having all the couples make together, and then a nice meal, a dessert, and we're going to offer like Prosecco or something like that. The classes have been great. We started doing classes twice a week at the beginning of this year, and I was tentative about doing that because that's a lot of classes, and but they're pretty much all sold out. So we still have some openings for I think a pasta class and a couple other classes. The Valentine's class, there's a few openings, but they just sell out. I think it's just people just enjoy the experience. So.
Oh, I've heard such good things, and it's when you come in here, you stick them back in the kitchen. All of the ingredients obviously are there. You tutor them on how to make this, and then they get dinner. They get a meal before they leave, and they get to enjoy that with all the new people they've met, and then they leave with food in hand.
Yes.
This is not something that you come and pay money and then you get a bite and work your hard and then you leave. You leave with stuff. You leave with goods in hand.
Yes, we do the classes literally around a big table right in the middle of our kitchen. So the environment is you're right in the middle of a commercial kitchen, which I think is fun for a lot of people. And we usually focus on making some kind of dough or pasta or bread. Everyone usually goes home with the dough that they make in class, and then we also make pastries. So you get to bake your own pastries. Or make your own pasta or whatever it is, and you go home with all of that. And then at the end of every class, everybody gets a meal. So we do like a buffet-style meal with ham and cheese croissants and roasted carrots and soup, salad, that kind of stuff. So
I've seen photos of your pasta, and at the end of that deal, do you get like a meal using the pasta? Do you do that sometimes?
We don't do that unless we'll do that for a special occasion, or we also offer private classes. So if someone wants to learn how to make a specific thing, I will, and they want to eat that for dinner as well, then I will do that. I actually have a class coming up. There's a family, so a group of 8, and they want to learn how to make this German Spätzle. I may have said that wrong. Yes, and which is basically like an egg noodle pasta. And so we're going to make that during class and then have it for the meal that night. Usually though, the dinners are pretty, I would say standard, but I think most people are impressed by our dinner. So it's a full-on meal. So
Oh, I'm sure it's amazing. I've heard such good things. I would venture to guess I'm way too lazy to make my own pasta. I wish I wasn't. Now, that said, the bread, I will tell you, Jennie, someone gave me starter. Do they leave here with starter for sourdough?
Well, I actually, we do a lot of things a little bit differently here than maybe the more authentic versions. So we actually, our starter is a little bit different, which we basically just use a little bit of the dough from the last batch of bread. And then that's what gets the sourdough process started for each loaf of bread. It makes it a lot easier and more straightforward for people who really want to try to make food and bake at home, but maybe they don't ever find enough time, they don't have enough attention span to maybe keep a starter alive. So it's just, our techniques are kind of based around people with busy lives that still want to try to become a better home cook.
That's good. You had me at easy because somebody gave me a starter within the last year, and oh, girl, it was a nightmare. It did not work. I tried, I stirred, I let it sit, and it was like, this is just not my jam. But maybe yours is going to be my jam.
Maybe it will. You should come take a class.
I fully intend to come take a class. I really will, because I know that is one thing that I would really, really like to learn how to do. Well, I'm so excited that you're here, and I'm sorry I didn't get in around holiday time, because you did some beautiful things for Christmas time, Christmas and Thanksgiving.
We did this year for Christmas. We did these cookie boxes. So we had 3 different sizes. It was a cookie and confection box. So we did a selection of Christmas cookies and candies, and people loved it. We sold I didn't even know if we were going to get them all done in time. So it was down to the last second before people were starting to pick them up. But they were super popular. We even did we ran a little contest with 417 Foodist, so you could win a free box of cookies, and everybody loved that. That was super fun. So it was a good time for Christmas for sure.
I talk about Billy Dove, the 417 Foodist, all the time, because I'm pretty sure it's his fault that the galette popped up in my world, and I got in the car and drove all the way from where I live in North Springfield all the way down to the south. Remember that?
Right. Yes, because he did a post about it, didn't he?
He did, and I think I came running up in a full-on panic, like, please, Lord, let there be a lemon left.
You decided you had to have that lemon galette.
Yep. And I got it, and when I get my mind set on something like that, it's like I have to have it, and I have to have it like immediately. So when are you open? You're not open every single day.
We are open Thursdays through Sundays, Thursdays and Fridays 8 to 1, and Saturdays and Sundays 8 to 2, and then 9 to 2. We're actually about to, once we add our new lunch menu and lunch service, we are going to extend our hours, and there's a good chance we're going to be open on Wednesdays as well. So keep your eye out. We'll update everybody on our socials.
Okay, good to know. Real quick before we wrap this up, talk about your staff. I know staff is so important to have people in here who get the routine, they know the customers, they know the product. I mean, I'm sure you get really close here.
It took, I would say it took a while to find good staff, and really just to get come up with production methods and whatnot that everyone could grasp and do over and over and over again. It's because we do everything from scratch, and we laminate all our doughs, and it's a pretty technical process, and not a lot of people grasp it or want to do the production element of working in the bakery. So I am really, really lucky to have the staff that I do right now. They are super dedicated, and they do a fantastic job.
Okay, I need a lesson here. Laminate the dough. What does that mean? I think I know what it means, but I probably don't. What does that mean?
Well, if you take one of my croissant classes, then you can learn all the details. But it's basically you're folding the dough with a layer of butter, and that creates the layers of the croissant.
Okay, see, you learned something new.
Yes.
But you mentioned that earlier. You mentioned laminate, and it escaped me. And when you said it again, I'm like, I gotta know what that means. But you even do puff pastry here, which is a process, right?
Yes, I would say yes. Pretty much all of the doughs they're very labor intensive. So there is a process, and that's why I was saying earlier, everything is that we always have pastries sort of in process. So each pastry we make goes through, say, 8 different steps before it actually goes into the oven and into the pastry case. So it's just kind of like a constant ongoing process, which talking about staff, like it takes a little while for everyone to get used to how that all works and operates. But I would say the end product is good.
Oh, you can taste the difference for sure. But it's a labor of love.
It is absolutely a labor of love. Yes.
I just look at your face, and you are so excited talking about this. And that's what makes me excited, to meet people like you. You're just passionate about what you do, and it's got to be so rewarding when somebody comes in here and takes a bite of a pastry, or they come for a class and they're sold. That's it. It's like life-changing.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of difficult moments and a lot of details to pay attention to in running this business, but I am very, very passionate about food, and that never goes away. And I love serving good food to people. And I love it when people leave and they just say, "Oh, thank you so much. That was delicious." That just, keeps me going.
Well, I'll tell you, for people who live here, we know we have it good. People who have not visited here yet, you'd be amazed at the talent and the passion of the people that we have here in the Ozarks that feed us so well every single day. Jennie Boosey from Blue Heron Euro Cafe and Bakery, and a shout out to James, who's probably out on the farm right now. Thank you so much for spending time with me on Savor the Ozarks.
Yes, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Be sure to go to AroundTheOzarks.com to sign up for our daily newsletter, where you can get every episode of Savor the Ozarks, plus all our other podcasts, events, and contests straight to your inbox. And what are your favorite dishes in the 417? If you have any restaurants you'd like me to visit, email me at joy@AroundTheOzarks.com.